my face really quick. Hey, Taylor. Prime Neil face. My trusty VFX primer. Can't go wrong. It's creme de prime. Creme not to prime. I'm telling y'all that I was on the struggle bus this weekend. Like hard. Say hey when you're getting on. Let's talk to each other. Like, how was y'all's weekend? That was rough. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I've made a video in the past before about anxiety. I know a lot of people suffer from anxiety. I have it really bad. Hey, Kiki. So I don't really know. Like, I can't be like, hey, so this specific event happened and that triggered my anxiety. No, like nothing happened. And that's how it goes, right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but that's how it goes for me. Like, nothing legit will happen usually. My anxiety will just flare up. And for what seems like no reason at all. So I had a good day. Saturday. I did a lot. I mean, I got a lot done. I was super busy. I didn't have any time to relax, but that's okay. I mean, that's what Saturdays are for, right? Get your stuff done. But then Saturday night came. I laid in the bed. I watched TV with my husband, which is what we do. And I mean, we have church. Our church starts at 9:45, which is earlier than most churches. And so I know, like, okay, hey, Heather, I can't stay up super late because I got to go to church. And, but we still stayed up till like 11, okay, because I finished the last episode of the last season of 13 Reasons Why. Okay, don't even get me started on that because I'm over it. Okay, whatever. That's a whole other conversation. But it's like 11, and I'm like, all right, it's late. We gotta go to bed. So we lay down, and of course the husband falls right to sleep because he ain't got anxiety issues. And I had really nothing to be anxious about. But I'm laying there in the bed, and I can literally feel, hey, Desiree, I can literally feel my heart beating on my whole body. Y'all ever felt like that? Like, I could feel my heart beating in my scalp. Like I could just, like, hear it in my ears. Like, my heart was beating fast and hard. And I'm laying there in my bed, like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you freaking out? Like, nothing is happening. You're fine. But that's how anxiety is. Just hits you for no reason. It don't bring no explanation with it. That's just what it does. So I'm like, okay, I really got to go to sleep. Hey, Sammy. But, I'm laying there. And I laid there for a good, like, hour, staring at the ceiling, like, not being able to sleep. And I've told y'all before in my lives, too, I have, like, sleep problems as well. Which is why I decided, I shared my testimony when I very first started Farmasi. That was my very first video my first live video that I ever did. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. And so I decided sharing my testimony was probably the best thing I could do. But that was a few months ago. And I feel like I've had a lot of ladies message me and be like, I don't know you at all, but I love you and I feel like I know you. And those are all people that I didn't have on my Facebook months ago. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to share my testimony with y'all again so that you can get to know me and realize, A, we're not very different. B, there are other people in the world that feel like you. And that's really one of the main reasons why you share your testimony, because someone needs to hear it. okay? But I didn't always have bad anxiety. I went through from about 20, when I first turned 20, until, I'm 31 now, until 28. I was in a off and on, mostly on, in a really bad relationship. And there was no physical abuse, but that's the only kind of abuse that there wasn't, okay? I would have much rather had my face beat in, be honest with you, than what was happening in that relationship. But I left that relationship after all those years with the anxiety issue that I have right now. And I didn't realize, you don't realize what baggage you're picking up when you pick it up. And I got with my husband, and I quickly realized, because I got with him soon, like not that long after I left that bad relationship. Like God just gave him to me as a reward. I feel like that's a whole nother part of my testimony, okay? But I got with him, and he really had to walk with me through healing from that and carrying my baggage with me, and that's rough for a man, okay? But it's soon after I left that relationship that I realized, hey, I can't sleep anymore. Like I legit could not sleep. I got with my husband, and I spent about a year laying there not sleeping. And then, you know, after so long, the effects of that really beat you to death. Like, my mirror's right here. I'm trying to look at it. You get really irritable. You can even fall apart, like, physically from not sleeping. So I finally went to my doctor, and I'm like, look, I cannot sleep. Like, something's wrong with me. I don't understand it. I cannot sleep. I've always slept fine. I don't understand why I'm not sleeping. Over the course of a few months, we tried different sleeping medicine. Some worked, some didn't work at all. The ones that did work, I would wake up feeling like a straight up zombie and like really struggling to like come out of the fog of that sleep. And I didn't want to feel like that. So finally, just me and my doctor, I've had her forever. Our kids actually went to school together for a while, and she's like a real life person. Like, she'll talk to you like you're a person, and I love her. So over the course of like months, you know, of me talking to her, we realize, or she realizes, that I have really bad anxiety. Because she's asking me like, okay, how do you feel in the night? Like, what's making you not sleep? And I'm explaining to her, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm laying there and my heart's just beating really fast. Like, the only way I could describe it is, you know, that feeling that you would, this hasn't happened to me, but I can imagine, like, if someone came and put a gun to your head, that immediate rush of adrenaline that would come out and your heart would start beating really fast, like, that would just happen to me for no reason. I'm talking about just chilling in the bed, chilling on the couch, watching TV, in the car, just randomly, for no reason. And that's what was keeping me up at night. Like, my heart was beating really fast, and that's not a relaxed state. You can't sleep like that. So over time of me talking to her about it, she was like, Kayla, I don't really think that you have a sleep issue. I think you have an anxiety issue, and that's the reason you can't sleep. And I was confused, because I have always slept. I never had a problem sleeping. I'm talking about, I used to take naps in the day. That doesn't happen anymore. Hey, Katie. So anyway, long story short, I get put on anxiety meds. And that truly helped me sleep and me deal with my anxiety. Okay, great. Fast forward to Saturday night. I'm laying there. Okay, y'all, I've been on these anxiety meds for almost 3 years. I love you, Katie. And so I'm thinking, like, this really shouldn't be happening to me right now. It shouldn't. And, but I'm laying there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pray. And that's what I do. Like, I'm freaking out. I'm falling apart right now. And I don't even know why. I'm just going to pray about it. And usually, y'all, that just snatches me out of whatever I'm dealing with. And I'm all right. But I couldn't even form a sentence in my head. Like, I was trying to pray, like I would start, and then I would 2 seconds later realize, like, I'm over here thinking about something else, and then now I'm over here thinking about this, and I couldn't even get it together. So I got up. Everybody's asleep in the house. I crept out of the bedroom. my phone and everything is plugged up in here. So I'm just like sitting in my kitchen. And, you know, the only light in the house on is the stove light. And I'm just sitting there. Like, what do? I have church. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning at this time. I have church at 9 a.m. Like, what am I doing? So I get one of the books off my bookshelf. Okay, I have a book from John MacArthur. He's a pastor. And I start reading it. I go in there and I look at my kids laying in their bed asleep peacefully, because they're not, they're older now. I don't like get to rock them to sleep anymore. I don't cuddle them like while they're sleeping like I used to when they were little. I don't get to like stare at them while they sleep like you do when they're tiny anymore. So I just go in there and I look at them for a while, and then I decide I'm writing them letters. I like to write. And I wrote Chloe this long letter about how much I loved her and how special she is, just because I think it's good to remind your kids of that from time to time. And sometimes you don't say it as well as you want to out your mouth as you would if you wrote it. And if your kid can read, write them a note. That's sweet. And so I did. I also wrote Tegan a little one, but she can't read, so hers wasn't as deep. I just didn't want her to be left out. So I wrote her one just telling her that I loved her and she was special. But then I'm still awake. Okay. So I finally come back in here at like 3 to try to force myself to sleep, and it didn't happen. I'm telling y'all that I laid up awake all night. And I finally am like begging God, like, please just help me sleep. I don't know what's wrong, God. Like, I'm sorry that I'm holding on to something. Like, something is tearing me apart right now. Something is really bothering me. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I feel like, I really believe that if you have like a bad feeling, like there's a dark cloud over you that you can't explain, that means something bad may be fixing to happen. I believe in that. I don't ever know what it is, but that has happened to me a lot in the past. I'll have like an overwhelmingly bad feeling that I can't shake and I don't know what's happening. And then a few days later, something bad will happen. I'll be like, oh, that a couple days ago makes sense now. So now I'm stressed out. Now I'm like, great, something bad's going to happen. Okay. But this is where my testimony comes into play. I want y'all to know me. I know some of y'all do. Katie, you know. Tasha, you know. Sammy, you know. Like, y'all know. But there's some people on here that are like, I literally had this girl message me the other day and was like, she was like, I love you. And I know that's weird because I don't know you, but like, I just love you. And listen, if God has done something in your life, share it. Let somebody know, okay? Like, let them know. And so throughout the process of that night, I've realized that I'm not completely, I don't know that I'll ever be over the trauma that I went through from that relationship. And it's not even him. It's just I think it was years of me laying in the bed and crying at night, or years of like trying to make sure the person beside you is asleep before you can even relax. Like making sure you can hear them asleep before your body will untense to even try to relax beside them. Years of that over and over, night after night. What I didn't realize was packing a backpack and putting it on my back that I brought into my marriage. Josh has not done nothing to me. He hasn't done nothing to make me feel like I can't relax next to him. But here I was. Not like I was overwhelmed. And honestly, y'all, I probably need to go to counseling. Okay? Honestly. I really do. But I prefer to just let God counsel me. Let the Bible counsel me. I prefer to cry to God. Let him know, hey, I recognize this issue. And like, let's do something about it. And he'll give you the tools. He'll give you the people. He'll give you the tool. And it just hadn't hit me in so long. I've been kind of over it. I've been coasting through. I've been taking my little medicine and feeling okay. And I wasn't okay that night. So I got up the next day, went to church, put my pretty face on, and first of all, cried off every bit of my makeup at church. Because I get to church, and exactly what I had done my last live on, and exactly what me and my husband had just discussed, is exactly what the preacher preached on. Okay, and I've said this before. And I look over at my husband, like, crying my eyes out. Because, y'all, I'm a crybaby. And he goes, and I was like, what do you think that means? Because this happens to me and him a lot. Like, that'll happen. Like, whatever we're talking about or whatever's going on in our life is exactly what the preacher will preach on. And I'm like, I literally whispered to him, I'm like, what do you think this means? Why does this happen so much? And he goes, the only thing I can tell you is I think that it means that we're living in God's will. That we're exactly where we're meant to be. And it's comforting. I feel like a lot of people look from the outside in on me and they're like, Kayla really got her life together. Like, she stopped doing drugs. She left a bad relationship. She did all the things and she got her life together. And so she's happy, right? Like, everything is fine. It's freaking awesome over there. And it is. Like, I am happy. That's great. But it's not all together. Becoming a Christian is not like the magic potion to your life being great. And honestly, I was so tired yesterday, y'all. My head hurt so bad because I had cried all day at church and I had had no sleep. But man, that like moment that me and God had in the middle of the night when everybody was asleep, me getting to look at my babies while they were asleep, me, looking my demon in the face, which I don't do often. I just tend to mask it or act like I'm okay. I needed that. And then this lady, she's my friend at church. We were talking about how she wears her heart on her sleeve. And then she looked me dead in my face. She said, you do too. You just try to act like you don't. And I was like, y'all, I really thought that no one knew that about me besides, like, my husband and my mama. I really thought that I was good, that no one could see that about me. And, like, I don't even hang out with her that much. Like, I don't. And she was just, like, said it so matter-of-factly, like it was common knowledge that everyone knew that about me. And I was like, wow. Because that is true. Like, I'm super sensitive, and I care about what everyone, is feeling or thinking. But it's like a full-time job to act like I don't. I don't know why I even do it. Like, I just have for so long. And, all I know is it was so easy for me in that moment, in that storm. The point of this story is I know that this is a hot mess, okay? I'm sorry. The point is that in that moment when I couldn't sleep and when I was just over it and I felt like crap and my head hurt, I was like, this sucks. Like, why? I just want to go to bed. But God had me up for a reason. And that same thing can be said for literally anything that you're going through, okay? You in that storm for a reason. You can call it a storm, a trial, a burden, hell, whatever you want to call it, okay? You're there. That's where you are. You didn't get there by accident. God's not oblivious to the fact that that's where you're at right now. And I'm telling you that if you will just accept the storm, look at it, ask yourself, all right, storm, what do you have to teach? Because I'm not here by accident. That storm actually becomes a blessing instead of something you wish you hadn't seen or hadn't walked through. And now I'm just like, I finally got some sleep last night, okay? Praise God. And then I opened my eyes this morning, and I was immediately thankful for that time. And I still can't tell you what I was so stressed out about Saturday night. I still can't tell you if a bad thing is coming or happening or about to happen. It might. It might. But I can tell you that if it does, I'm going to be all right. It's going to be all right. A little bit of my backstory. Hey, hi, Kylie. I always want to call you Kaylee. I know I tell you that every time. God has done everything for me. You know I've been there, babe. And without you and your testimony, I don't know what I would do. Oh, I love you, Katie. I love you, Katie. Like, a lot. But, for those of you who don't know me, Katie knows me really well. But, I have 3 kids. 3 daughters. All by different dads. You know, I didn't say that out loud for a long time. Like, the people who really knew. And we didn't talk about it. The guy who's the father of my middle daughter claims my youngest daughter. And I let everybody believe that that is his kid. Because I didn't want that label. I didn't want to wear it. And that's because I wasn't a Christian for a while. But now that I am, and the further I get into it, who am I to be like, I don't like that part of my past, and I'm just going to act like it doesn't exist. Do I wish that I had waited until I had met my husband to have every single one of my kids? Yeah, obviously. About 99 of my problems wouldn't be here right now. But at the same time, guess what? When God formed me, before I took a breath, he knew I was about to make every one of them babies. And who I was going to make them with. He knew all of it. And he loved me anyway. He took me out of the ditch anyway. And I struggled for a long time thinking, like, wondering, y'all ever, like, hand your burden to God and then, like, not really let it go? I do that a lot. Like, it tells you that God takes your sin and then it's gone. But the consequence of your sin is not gone. Okay? And that's really what I mean when I say that I'm struggling. Because I'm still watching my kids, my 2. My oldest one has a great dad. Okay? He's great. He loves her. He's involved in her life 100%. She doesn't have a daddy issue. Okay? My other 2 have a great stepdad. And God provided that for them because he knew what was going to happen. And that is one of the blessings. Okay? That's a blessing that you get. But does that stop? My 5-year-old is kind of oblivious to anything bad in the world right now. And I'm grateful for that. I've been with my husband since she was 1. So all that she really knows is my husband and a good life and a stable life and daddy and mommy loving each other and being together. And, you know, yeah, she has visited the other one. She does from time to time. And she doesn't know anything bad about him because she's too young to understand any of it. And I think that that's great, honestly, because she's not carrying the weight of it. But my middle child was with me in the storm. She was there when I left that bad relationship. She's seen every fight. She heard every fight. She watched mommy cry. She knows. She knows why I had to leave her daddy. She knows a lot. And it's the burden of that, what boils down to a sin that I committed when I was lost. Having a child with someone I wasn't married to, that's the sin. Now, still, as a child of God, affects us deeply. And I really feel like That's a lot of what had me up the other night. It's almost Father's Day. He calls like once every 2 months, which just throws her into a tizzy, and she's an emotional wreck because she doesn't even want to talk to him. And then if, God forbid, if he does get his one supervised visit that he's supposed to get on a Sunday, he'll probably try to get it on Father's Day. And I've been trying to be like, okay, baby, you know, this might happen, because I don't want her to be surprised with anything. And I want her to be like, knowing that it might happen, but it may not, because you never know. The man you don't know what he's going to do or not do or anything. I don't have a clue. But I do know that my one job is to take care of her heart. And she don't want to go. She don't want to see him. She don't want to talk to him, but the court don't give a dang. They don't care, because you know what? She's 9. And her opinion doesn't matter. Imagine that. The problem is as a Christian, I'm supposed to lay all this at the feet of Jesus and completely walk away from it. You think that Jesus doesn't know what's going to happen with that whole scenario? You think Jesus doesn't know what my baby's life is going to look like? You think he doesn't feel the weight of me as a mother, just wanting to protect her, just wanting her to be okay? I get one childhood. They got one childhood. I don't want them to heal from it. I don't want them to be like, what, man, like this happened to me when I was a kid. So I just want them to look back on their childhood and be like, that was great. You know, my mom tried her best. And I can't fix the fact that I had her with who I had her with. I can't fix that. But I want so badly to protect her from the damage of it. And I can't. And that's not something I'm swallowing very well. Like, I'm not swallowing it good. There's so much in my life that I can control. Like, I can control how I act, what I say, what I teach them, what I allow them to watch on TV, like what I let them wear. I can control that I take them to church on Sunday. I can control so much about their life. I can make sure.
I'm going to watch TV now.
Okay, then go lay down and watch it. I can control so much about their life. And I feel like the one thing that's going to impact them the most, I can't do a thing about. And then you realize that is probably a faith test. God's like, hey, guess what? You can't do nothing about this. Now what are you going to do? You're going to trust me to take care of them? Am I going to trust God to love my kids more than I do? Of course I am. But how do you not worry? How do you not stay up at night every now and then? How do you look at them and just, like, I have a big faith. I'm grown. I've seen what God has done in my life. She's 9. How do I make her faith big? And maybe this is how. Maybe she watches what God does in this situation, and that's how, you know, she'll look back and be like, you know how I believed in God? Because everybody has their story. Like, I have mine. That's my testimony. This could be hers. And I don't want to rob her of her testimony. But I do want to protect her, and it's such a weird, fine line to walk. Because I'm not fixing to be that mom that bashes the other parent, even when they're terrible. I'm not going to do it. And I never have. Does she know the bad things? Some, not all. She knows some of it only because she had to. When he was away, when he was gone, and she couldn't see him, what was I going to tell her? I wasn't going to lie to her. I was not going to lie to my baby's face about where he was at. When he was in jail, I told her he was in jail. I just told her in a kid way. You know, when he was in rehab, I asked him, please don't tell her that you're going to rehab. Just tell her that you're going to go away for a little while. Because she doesn't understand. Not only that, but Tegan was on the phone. And she definitely don't understand because she's 5. First thing he did was get on the phone. Daddy's going away for a while. You know, I'm sick, but I made you a promise. And I'm going to stick to it. Guess where the man was at 2 weeks after that? Not in rehab. Dropped out. Which is why I ask you not to promise her anything anymore. Which is also the reason why I don't lie to her. A lot of people have told me, people on that side, that I'm wrong for letting her know that he has an alcohol problem or that he's been to jail or any of that stuff. And you know what? I wish she didn't know what alcohol was. I wish she didn't know what it smelled like. I wish she didn't know that people suffered from stuff like that. And she didn't need to have to. She didn't have to. But you know why she does have to? Because you chose to drink. And somebody had to explain to her why one of the main people in her life was dipped off. Why would a person who loves you lie to you? When your 9-year-old or your 8-year-old or your 7-year-old asks you that, you kind of have to explain that some people love and, enjoy certain things, and that makes their brain not work the way that we understand. She don't understand addiction, but you left me with a job to explain to her addiction because I don't have a choice. It would have been no different if you had any other addiction. It just so happens to be alcohol, so she had to learn about that. And I'm the bad guy because she knows about it. And guess what? If I don't save Tegan about this situation, her innocence right now and the fact that she doesn't know anything and that she's not hurt by it because she doesn't know anything, that won't last forever. She'll get old enough to ask questions and wonder. She's already like, Mama, why don't Chloe want to talk to him? Mama, why is Chloe mad? Mama, why is Chloe crying? Me being able to be like, oh, it's okay. Like, she's just, and sweeping it under the rug and saying little half answers that tell her nothing ain't gonna last forever. Just like it didn't with Chloe. I tried that with her for a long time. I told her basically nothing and let her not be hurt for a long time, and then she got too old for that crap. And I really want to believe in our justice system. I want to believe that they care about the best interests of my child. I want to believe that I can walk in there and be like, well, here's the evidence and the proof. Like, make a good choice for my kid, but they don't know them. I'm literally walking in to a room full of people who've never even laid eyes on my amazing kids for them to make a big choice about their life. That is disgusting. And I want to throw up every time I go in there. So, listen, young people, young ladies, women in general, if you don't have any kids, if you've only got one and you want to have some more, please, for the love of God and for the love of your children, have kids with somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And I say that, listen, at the moment when I had her, that's what I thought. But you don't even know what love is if you're not a Christian. And I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, but that's facts. You do not know what love is, and you cannot wrap your mind around it or love another human being if you do not understand Christ dying on the cross for you. You can't. Until you know and accept and love that and see that and the weight of that in your life, don't try to love nobody else, because it's going to turn out just like this crap, and you're going to be carrying it around on your back. Is this a complete failure and just a loss and just throw it all away because it's trash now? No, like, this is my life. I love them. They are perfect gifts. And you know what? Every mistake that I made, God knew I was going to make, and he's going to work it all together for good. I say this verse all the time because, like, you know what? I need to live by it. It's Romans 8:28. God works all things together for good for those who love him. So not just everybody, y'all, okay? We're not all getting that amazing treatment. For those who love him. So if you love God, all your little mistakes And all your things that I'm sitting here like, well, I don't have a clue. I don't know how to fix this, y'all. I can't do nothing with this. Is a disaster. Like, there is no good way that this is turning out for my kid. Guess what? You're right. I'm right. I can't do nothing about that. But God can. God sent her a daddy to love her and to tuck her in every night. And does that replace her real daddy? No. But you know what a kid needs? They need an influence in their life. They need a man to love them. You need that. You need a man and a woman to love you in your life as a child. You need a mom and a dad. Does it have to be the one that gave birth to you or that made you? No. It don't. And you know what? The thing that really caused Chloe to not want to be around him or see him wasn't even all of the flaws that he has as a person. Because she's a child and she's so loving and forgiving and innocent. What made her over it was that he didn't accept her daddy here. He would always tell her, that's not your daddy. Don't call him daddy. You know, stepdaddies aren't real daddies. And she was done. She took it for a couple months. And then she was done. Because what y'all don't realize is more than one person can love your child. And that's all right. My oldest daughter calls her stepmom. She's not her stepmom yet, but they're about to get married. They've been together for like 10 years. She calls her mom. I don't feel no type of way about that. You know why? Because I'm not selfish. And I know that that woman loves my child like she is hers. She would jump in front of a car for my child. And when you grow up from 1 year old with a person playing the role of mama or daddy, you're going to call them mama and daddy. You're going to see them in that light. Danielle didn't ask her to call her mama. I never asked Tegan or Chloe to call Josh daddy. It just happens. And you know what? You should be happy about that. I'm happy about it. What I'm not happy about is someone hurt my baby. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Brooke. Hey, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I'm on a rant. I didn't even get on here to talk about this. Like, I really didn't. But I honestly think that that's what kept me up the other night. Like, I didn't sleep. And I'm in there just watching my baby sleep. And I'm looking at them like we all do. Y'all are moms. Y'all know. You look at your kids and you're like, anything that would hurt you, anything that would cause you to feel any type of pain, you just want to make it go away. You want to step in like a gladiator and say, I'll fight them all. But what if it's the other person who promised to love them forever? What if they're not doing their job? Then what? Then all you can do is give it to God. Because as much as you think you love your kid, God loves them more. Like, wrap your mind around that. Somebody loving your kid more than you do. It's facts. So when there is something that happens in my kid's life that I can't control or change or fix or help or make better, God. He can. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know if he's going to take this burden away from them. I don't know if it's going to stay there forever and he's just going to help me help them walk through it. I don't know. I don't know which one is better. I don't know which one is worse. I don't know anything. But I do know that he will make it okay. That if he put it in their life, then it's for them to carry. And that when he's ready for it to go away, it'll go. And if it's not meant to go away, it won't go. And I have to be okay with that. And I have to be strong enough to help them be okay with that. Me and my husband have to be a united front to show them what love looks like. So that when these daughters grow up to be women and they their heart is ready to find a man to love them, that they're not finding no man like that. That they see the example that daddy set in the house and how he loved mommy. And that's the type of man you find. And you know what? One day I even told my mom, I was like, yeah, I think sometimes I look at this as a bad thing. But my daughters are kind of lucky. Because most daughters, I was one of them, only have one example. You either have a crappy example and you're like, you grow up and you're like, I definitely don't want no man like that. Or you have a really good example and you're like, yes, like I just want to find a guy like my dad. You have one or the other. Or you're like me and you didn't have no example at all. And you're just kind of trying to figure it out. And hence my failure, okay? But my kids have both. They're not old enough to realize it yet, but they have both. They get to see what not to do, what not to follow, what not to date or marry, and what to do. And now you get, who gets both sides? Very few people. Very few women get both to look at and to, observe and to learn from. And because I am their mom and because I love them, I want to remove the negative and the bad. But tell me one of y'all's kids on here ain't got no negative or bad in their life. None. And I'll shut up. Because I know they all do. It's something. It might not be their parent, but it's something. It's a friend at school. It's a certain thought that they have about themselves. It's something. There's something in your kid's life that is negative. You can't take it all away. Our job as a parent is not to even take it all away. It's to help them deal with it. It's to teach them how to carry it. Because, hello, here I am, a grown woman, and is all my negative gone out of my life? Is there nothing for me to carry now? No. It was my mother's job to help me figure out how to carry stuff. And so really what I need to do is shut up and stop worrying and just teach these babies how to carry anything that God gives them. To open the Bible and be like, look at this guy or this woman from the Bible. Those examples are in there for a reason. For us to learn what they did and either do it like that because they did it right or not do it like that because here's the reason why they did it wrong. And show them. We tend to look at the people in the Bible like, wow, like though they're in the Bible. Like they knew Jesus. They walked with him, right? Like we're not nowhere even close to them people. Wrong. Them people are just like us. Jesus could have came during our lifetime and it would have looked a little bit different, but humans are humans. The 12 disciples were human. They were messed up. And God used them big. If I'm a messed up person, I've been through too much. And God uses me. God uses other messed up people for me. My husband is messed up. He used him for me. And he uses him for other people. I see it all the time. I don't want my kids to be messed up. I want to save them. I want them to be less messed up than I am. Of course, we all want that. But if they carry a little bit of something negative on that I cannot save them from, no matter what, then you know what? They might use that to help somebody else. Somebody else might look at them and be like, man, I thought my dad was the only one that was like that. And thank you for telling me that you had one that was like that too. And I don't want to rob them from their testimony. So I'm sitting here to tell you that I'm telling myself that I'm not going to stay up at night anymore worrying. That I trust him to get me through and them through what looks like Goliath. I'm standing in front of Goliath every time that he calls or that they have to go or that I go to that courtroom and I don't know how to save them. It's Goliath. But there's David inside of me. There's David inside of my babies. Or he wouldn't have put it there. And I'm gonna not worry about it anymore. And I think I tell y'all so that I can be accountable. Like, somebody heard me say I wasn't going to worry about it anymore, so y'all catch me worrying about it later. I'm telling y'all that I'm worried. Y'all going to hop on here and be like, nope, you said you weren't going to worry, and now you're lying. And I ain't trying to be no liar, okay? Like, I'm not. So, keep me accountable. I'm asking you to. I love y'all. The whole point of this was to spotlight my new waterproof blue eyeliner. And let's talk about it. It's obviously waterproof because it's still there. This comes in a lot of colors too. It's really awesome. I probably could have looked it up in the book and like already told y'all how much it was, because that would be a good beauty influencer thing for me to do. But I'm just telling y'all, I was broken. I'm broken, and I hadn't. My challenge was to go live every single day, and when I didn't go live Saturday or Sunday, I got on there to my little team chat, and I apologized to them, and I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I never. It's 10:90. I never. If I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, and I never just fail really like that hard. And I just could not. Like, I'm sitting there like, all right, I'm gonna get on my live, and I just couldn't. I didn't know what to say to y'all. I was just like silent. I had a lot in here and nothing. So I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm a mess still. Hello, obviously, but I love y'all. I didn't really share my testimony. I shared a little bit of what I'm still walking through, but that's because of what I did in the past. So let's make good choices. We can't fix our past, but like, at least learn from it. If you realize something was a mistake, don't remake a mistake. Don't take your ex back. Don't have kids. If you don't want to marry that person, if you don't see you being with that person for the rest of your life, don't ignore red flags either. For the love of God. You think I didn't see all the red flags in the beginning of that relationship? Sure did. Did I admit that to myself then? No. Now, I'm looking back, I'm like, God, you're an idiot. I watch shows of like stuff like that happening, and I'm screaming at the TV like, don't do it. Don't be an idiot. And then Josh looks at me like, you realize that was you, right? Like, all I know is hopefully my kids, we'll see. I just want them to be healthy and happy. I'm going to do my darn level best to make it happen. I love y'all. Speaking of my kids, I'm about to go check on them. I think they're being pretty good. They usually are. But message me if you want any pharmacy stuff, or if you want to talk, because I'm always here. And have a good day.